The battlefield of Keros 4 was finally silent. For 3 days and 3 nights, explosions had lit the sky like violent thunderstorms. Alien warships burned in the upper atmosphere, streaking across the clouds like dying comets. The ground was scarred with craters and shattered machines. Smoke curled lazily upward from broken artillery and fallen drones. Corporal Daniel Carter leaned against the twisted remains of a defense turret, exhausted. His armor was cracked in 3 places, and the left sleeve of his uniform was soaked in dried blood, some of it his, most of it not. Humans weren't supposed to win this battle. Not alone. The invading forces had belonged to the Valkyrie Dominion, one of the most feared empires in the outer spiral. Their soldiers were taller, stronger, and equipped with technology centuries ahead of Earth's. Yet somehow, against all odds, the small human expeditionary force had held the line long enough for their allies to arrive. Daniel wiped soot from his face and stared across the ruined plain. In the distance stood a tall figure surrounded by surviving alien soldiers. Even from far away, she was unmistakable. The Valkyrie war commander. Her armor gleamed like molten silver beneath the dying sunlight. Elegant plates curved around her body like sculpted metal wings. A long crimson cape drifted behind her in the wind. And unlike the other Valkyrie warriors, she stood perfectly still. Watching him, Daniel frowned. "That can't be good," he muttered. Behind him, Sergeant Ruiz chuckled weakly while sitting against a rock. "Relax, Carter," Ruiz said. "We just saved their entire fleet from getting wiped out. I doubt they're coming to kill us now." Daniel wasn't so sure. A few minutes later, a small escort of Valkyrie soldiers approached. They moved with quiet precision, their dark armor reflecting the orange light of the setting sun. In the center walked the commander. As she drew closer, Daniel realized something surprising. She wasn't towering like most Valkyrie. She was only slightly taller than him. Her armor was elegant rather than bulky, built for speed rather than brute force. The helmet covering her face was smooth and curved, glowing faintly with soft blue light. When she stopped in front of him, the battlefield seemed strangely quiet. "Human," she said. Her voice came through a translator, clear, calm, and commanding. "You are the one who destroyed the Dominion flagship." Daniel scratched the back of his neck. "Well, I wouldn't say destroyed," he said. "I mostly just redirected a missile that was already heading that way." The Valkyrie soldiers behind her murmured softly. Apparently, that was impressive. The commander studied him silently. "Your action saved 32 Valkyrie warships and over 4,000 soldiers," she said. Daniel shrugged. "Just doing my job." She tilted her helmet slightly. In Valkyrie tradition, such an act demands recognition. Ruiz leaned toward Daniel and whispered, "I like where this is going." The commander stepped closer. "Human Daniel Carter," she said. "You are granted 1 reward. Anything within my authority." Daniel blinked. "Anything?" Ruiz's eyes widened. "Oh man," Ruiz whispered. "Ask for a cruiser. Or alien tech. Or..." Daniel raised his hands quickly. "Hold on," he said. "It was just teamwork. No reward necessary." The commander remained still. "It is required," she replied calmly. Daniel sighed. He had no idea what to ask for. His mind was exhausted, his body aching, and the entire situation felt surreal. So he did the worst possible thing. He made a joke. Daniel gestured vaguely toward her and said with a tired grin, "Well, if I get anything, I guess I'll just ask for you." Ruiz immediately face-bombed. The Valkyrie soldiers froze. And the commander said nothing. For a full 5 seconds. Daniel realized, too late, that humor probably didn't translate well across alien cultures. That was a joke," he added quickly. But the commander slowly reached up to her helmet. With a soft hiss, the seals of her armor released. Daniel blinked. Then she removed the helmet. The battlefield seemed to hold its breath. Her face was not what he expected. Valkyrie were rumored to be monstrous. Sharp teeth, glowing eyes, terrifying features. But she looked almost human. Her skin shimmered with a faint silver tint. Long dark hair spilled down her shoulders as the helmet came off. Her eyes glowed softly with violet light, calm and intelligent. And she was, without question, stunning. The soldiers behind her stepped back respectfully. "I am Commander Lyra Valeries of the Valkyrie High Fleet," she said. Daniel stood there, completely frozen. "I have removed my armor," she continued. Ruiz whispered behind him. "Carter, what did you just do?" Lyra's glowing eyes remained fixed on Daniel. "In Valkyrie culture," she said calmly, "a warrior who asks for the commander herself as a reward is making a bond claim." Daniel's brain stopped working. "A what?" "A bond claim," Lyra repeated. "A declaration that you wish to join your fate with mine." Ruiz nearly choked laughing. "Oh my God," Carter proposed to an alien general. Daniel waved his hands desperately.
No.
"No, I didn't mean." Lyra raised one hand gently. "I understand humor," she said. Daniel paused. "You do?" "Yes." She looked at him carefully. "But your bravery is no joke." For a moment, her serious expression softened. Few warriors would risk their lives for another species. Daniel shrugged awkwardly. It seemed like the right thing to do. Lyra studied him for a long moment. Then she did something unexpected. She smiled. It was subtle, but unmistakable. "In that case," she said quietly, "perhaps the reward should still be honored." Daniel's eyes widened. "Wait, what?" The Valkyrie soldiers began whispering again. Lyra turned slightly and addressed them in her own language. After a moment, they bowed respectfully and stepped back even farther. Now it was just the two of them standing in the ruined battlefield. "You saved my fleet," Lyra said, "and I owe you a life debt." Daniel shifted awkwardly. "You really don't." "In Valkyrie culture," she continued, "life debts are not ignored." Her glowing eyes met his. "And you asked for me." Daniel sighed. "I really wish I could rewind about 30 seconds. Lyra laughed softly. The sound surprised him. "Human Daniel Carter," she said. "Tell me something honestly. Okay. Did you truly expect nothing in return for saving us?" Daniel thought for a moment. Then he shrugged again. "Honestly, I just hoped we'd survive." Lyra studied him carefully. Then she looked out across the ruined battlefield. "The Dominion will return," she said quietly. "Yeah," Daniel replied. "They always do." Lyra turned back toward him. "The Valkyrie will soon vote on whether humanity should be welcomed into the Galactic Alliance." Daniel blinked. "That's a big decision." "Yes." Her expression grew thoughtful. "And your actions today may influence it." Daniel rubbed his neck awkwardly. "No pressure, right?" Lyra stepped closer. For the first time, Daniel realized something strange. Even without her armor, she carried the same powerful presence as a battlefield commander. But now there was something warmer in her eyes. Something curious. "You made a joke," she said softly. "But in Valkyrie tradition, jokes often reveal truth." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "That's dangerous logic." Lyra smiled again. "Perhaps." She extended one hand toward him. "In that case, I will offer a different reward." Daniel hesitated. "What kind?"
A chance.
"For what?" "To see where fate leads." Ruiz shouted from behind the rock. "Take it, Carter. For humanity." Daniel groaned. Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Is that a yes?" Daniel looked around at the destroyed battlefield, the alien soldiers watching from a distance, and the strange, glowing-eyed commander standing in front of him. Then he sighed. "Well," he said, "I suppose I've already gotten myself into this mess." Lyra raised an eyebrow. "So?" Daniel took her hand. "So, I guess we'll see where it goes." Her hand was warm and surprisingly gentle. For a moment, the chaos of war faded into silence. Lyra looked at their joined hands thoughtfully. "Human traditions confuse me," she admitted. Daniel chuckled. "Trust me, they confuse humans too." She looked back up at him. "Then perhaps we will learn together." Ruiz walked over slowly, shaking his head. "I cannot believe this," he said. Daniel glanced at him. "What? You saved the galaxy and accidentally started dating an alien commander." Daniel groaned. "I am never making jokes again." Lyra smiled. "I hope that is not true." Daniel looked at her. "Why?" Her violet eyes sparkled slightly. "Because I would like to hear more of them." For the first time since the war began, Daniel laughed. And somewhere above them, the last burning warship faded into the darkening sky. The battle for Keros 4 was over. But something new had just begun. Something neither human nor Valkyrie had expected. And far beyond the stars, the future of two civilizations quietly shifted because one tired human soldier made a joke at exactly the wrong moment. Or perhaps the perfect one.